Hello, beautiful people. I'm just cleaning off my device because it's so sunny here in Florida that I can't see my device. Good morning. We got a lot to talk about today, and I want to just make sure that I am on live. Let's see. It looks like I am. Hello, beautiful people. It is hot in sunny Florida this morning. Very hot. I'm going to be doing something. I'm not going to be able to see your chat until after I'm done, like a small little presentation. But I will come back to chat after my presentation. So if you think I'm ignoring you, it's for real. I need to figure out what I'm doing here. So let me see what the live looks like. Okay, good morning, Mark. Good morning, Anthony and Rachel and James and everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to shut this one off. As you can see, I got a, I'm going to turn that off. So we start out, I titled it real quick because I didn't have time, but I titled this video, Melanie Gibb, a good but a bad witness for the prosecution. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. We have to love, or we're going to have to hate to love Melanie Gibb. So you got either way. You can love her, or you can learn that your hate or your feelings of contempt for her, that's probably a better way to phrase it, you're gonna have to love her. So there's a lot of people that their pants are tied up in a knot right now because they don't want anything said about their star witness. And I understand that. I've been in court cases before. I understand how it is to preserve the integrity and the reputation of your star witness. Perfectly understood. But the difference is here, we are not in the courtroom. We are not going to be in the courtroom. We're just YouTubers who are taking facts, delving into a case where we're limited on what we have in front of us. The evidence that gets brought before us in YouTube land is quite different than obviously what the law enforcement officials have. And you know they have the complete picture. But I have, just from my little old, very old pea brain, because of course you know that the cells start to go in your brain as you age, and if you don't use them, they go quicker than some. I'm trying to use mine and to the best of my ability, and this is what I'm going to be saying to you today, is Melanie Gibb, I call her Gibb just because it's easier for me to push Gibb out than Melanie Gibb. So from now on, if you hear me saying Gibb, it's not being disrespectful to her. It's just that it's easier for me at the end of the day. So this is the deal, guys. We got Melanie Gibb. And do I dare talk about her presentation? Do I dare talk about wearing a hot pink shirt to court? Isn't that an interesting choice of clothing? Now, this is just from someone who has put together court cases before. Like, I've been the official person that has helped people dress appropriately within the decorum of a courtroom. And depending upon the case that I've worked on, I have helped people compose themselves, like hold their shoulders, up high, not slouch, look into the eye of the person who's talking to you, or if that's too uncomfortable, you have to say to them, then the best deal is that the judge is impartial or unbiased. He's impartial or unbiased, so therefore, look into his eyes. If it's too hard for you to look at the cross attorney, the prosecutor, or the witness, or the defendant, just take a minute and look at the person that makes you feel comfortable. So I've done all this stuff. I have kind of been the interior decorator of a courtroom when it comes to victims, the way they present. So I'm not picking on Melanie Gibb because I'm an old hoot, and this old hoot doesn't like hot pink, because I love hot pink. And I'll be honest with you, I love all colors. So it has nothing to do with me being an old hoot. It has to do with certain respectful dress. There's sort of like a code, even though it's an unspoken code. I mean, they don't want you wearing jeans in to testify. They don't want you to have holy shirts on and shoes that aren't full shoes, like they don't allow you to wear flip-flops and that kind of thing. So there's a certain amount of decorum that is expected when you go into a courtroom. So I'm going to first send this out to whoever helped Melanie get ready for that first or second day court appearance. The first day she wore black. The second day she wore hot pink. Now, let's put it this way. You think of hot pink as a young teenage girl, right? I mean, don't we know that all pre-adolescents and adolescents love pink, correct? I mean, we all understand that. I guess I got you pointed up to the clouds because I guess that's a good way to start this talk today. It's a good way that I got you up in the clouds because guess what? Melanie is up in the clouds. And I'm going to tell you, there's more reason than just her dress. One, you don't wear hot pink to court. I mean, it's a given. You wear bland colors. You wear tan, black, gray, white, navy blue. You don't wear royal blue. You don't wear hot pink. You don't wear tight-fitting blouses. That kind of thing if you're female. And of course you don't wear hot pink if you're a guy, unless you're Jeffree Star or someone like that and, is well made up. But anyways, to go on with what I'm saying is, we got a problem here in YouTube land. We got a real problem. The problem is exactly this. Melanie Gibb is way too up in the clouds. No, I am not saying that she's too heavenly for us. I'm actually saying she might not be heavenly enough. Can you believe that? Can you believe that Melanie Gibb, out of all of the people in this country that we have seen that has been involved with this particular court case, with the murder of Charles Vallow, with the murder of Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Tammy Daybell, and possibly Joe Ryan prior to 2019. In 2018, Joe Ryan, Lori Vallow's first husband, was found dead in his apartment. We're not sure if Lori Vallow et al. Were involved with that case. But we're not going to veer off the subject here. We're going to stay right on. Hey, listen, this is the deal. So Melanie Gibb goes in her second day, and she answers the prosecution on the first day. And she did beautifully. She was dressed right. She held her shoulders high. She did not fidget in her seat. She looked in the eyes of the prosecutor as he was asking the questions. So she gets an A minus. I'm not giving her an A, and I'm not giving her an A plus. I'm just going to give her an A minus for dress, for decorum, for good court decorum. But where I falter her is day 2. Hot pink, Melanie Gibb. Hot pink. Do you have anything else in your wardrobe that would not foster the teenage ideal? I mean, do you have like navy blue? Even Summer Schiffler and Janice Cox came on 48 Hours, and they were in very conservative royal blue outfits. That tells me someone helped them plan. And that tells me that they have the wherewithal to dress accordingly. Now, you would think a nice Christian woman would do this on her own, that she wouldn't have to be told you don't wear a hot pink sweater to court. That it's kind of saying this isn't the beach, you know, like you're kind of giving the judge and the players in the courtroom the idea that you might be at the beach. We're not at the beach. We're not at a discotheque. We're not at just a gab session at your, as you call each other, babes. Because can you remember on that recording, on the recording between Lori and Melanie played in the courtroom that day, that secret recording that Melanie Gibb did on Lori and Chad? They were calling each other babe. Now, these are middle-aged 40-year-olds and 50s. And okay, I'm going on to a different planet here. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna stop demeaning whoever helped Melanie prepare so that her image looked good. You know what I mean? I'm gonna forget about that. Let's go on to what I'm here for. Good morning, everybody. I'm not going to be able to see you because I'm going to play my video from the other day. So if you just tuned in right now, you haven't missed anything. I've given you like a little 1, 2, 3 Grammy Gumshoe dress code for what you do and don't do in court. But hey, that's not a crime, is it? If you dress inappropriately for court, it is not a crime. But let's go right here. Let's go right here. I'm going to play you that video that I made, if I can. You know me with technology. Or better yet, I'm going to play you this video. And bear with it. It is footage from East Idaho News that they shared with us. It's footage from Gilbert, Arizona. Let's see what they have to say on this. Okay? I'm going to play it right now. It's the police cam. Oops, and they're playing the commercial as usual. So let me try to get off that.
No higher level of training for skin cancer.
You know people that I have no technology skills, none. Here it is, East Idaho News, body cam.
Come over here.
The police is talking to Charles. Why don't you come over here, he said.
What's going on tonight?
If you can't hear it, he's saying, the police is saying, what's going on tonight?
How old are you here? How long have you been trying?
God and remember the 144,000. She's coming, Jesus is coming next year. She took all the money out of her bank account today. My truck has gone from the airport. She went to the airport and got it. I just flew in from Houston, from Dallas. And, so,
Where's your truck?
a friend of mine tried to pick me up. I went to the CSI Vallow Court. I was just at the community bridges or something. Vallow Court.
So you had
I understand that's too hard to hear. I can barely hear it, and I'm sitting right next to it. If you couldn't hear it at all, what it was saying, it was Charles Vallow exclaiming to the body cam officers, because that's what we're listening to, is Charles on the body cam, and he's explaining to him that his wife took $35,000 from his account, that she stole his truck from the airport, you know, allegedly, and that she has claimed that she's part of the 144,000, and that she's a resurrected being, and so on and so forth. We know the story. Charles made it very clear to that man, that officer wearing the body cam, that his wife, Lori Vallow, was claiming that if Charles Vallow got in Lori Vallow's way, she would rid of him. She didn't say, I'm gonna lock you in the naughty room. No, she wasn't that gentle, guys. She was saying, I am going to murder you if you get in my way. Meaning, anything that I'm doing now, if you try to trip me up, like I feel you're trying to, because he was obviously feeling the pressure. He was feeling that she was saying things that were wrong, that she was saying that she was going to murder him, and that mystified him, wouldn't it you? If someone tells you, especially your spouse, that has never really talked like that before, and all of a sudden they start saying, I'm part God, and I'm going to murder you if you get in my godly ways, and that she's going over to pray to Moroni for an extensive amount of time every day. On and on, he was telling this police officer. Now, you got to remember, guys, this was the night before. This body cam was the night before she got brought into Community Bridges to have an assessment. And as we all well know, she cleared that assessment, correct? She didn't have to have a 72-hour hold. Good morning, everyone. We're talking about the night before Lori Vallow's assessment at Community Bridges, which failed. As we all know, it failed. She did her intake, and she never went in for the 72-hour hold. Now, in the committal paperwork that Charles Vallow had to write. Now, Lori had much, I guess, lead into this, because the police were telling her at the Chandler Police Department that she was appearing okay. Their kind of a cursory look at her was, hey, you brought your kid to school today, you look like you're put together, you know, you're not all disheveled, and you're speaking pretty, you know, pretty good, you're right, very clear in your speech. So they passed, or Lori passed their cursory look at her, okay, and they made it known to her that, hey, you passed, we don't see anything really wrong with you, hey, no problem. And they were kind of giving her tips, how she didn't have to answer the door if the police came to serve her the committal papers. They were tipping her, oh, don't open your door, you'll be all set. It's a civil matter. Us police only handling criminal. We're only like civil paper boys. We hand you the papers, and we tell you that you're supposed to show up. But please don't open your door if you don't want to go have this assessment. So Melanie Gibb accompanied Lori to this particular Community Bridges Association, and she, by all accounts, knew everything that was going on. But what I'm gonna share with you right now, and I'm hoping I can get it. I'm hoping I can read a couple of the comments that made me come online. And there's some comments under yesterday's video or the day before's. I can't remember when I did it. My very last video I did was on Melanie Gibb, right? You've all heard it, that I played it. Let me play it again for you if I can. You know me, I have struggles with technology, so it might not come in very well. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Let me play you. I'm gonna Yes. Am I?
Try to make myself look innocent or guilty. I came on there for the kids, also for purposes of putting some kind of something good could come out of this, and that a lot of people are believing a lot of the teachings, or I'd say some of the ideas that Chad was familiar with. And it was a great opportunity for me to share what I did know. And because of that knowledge, people have an opportunity to decide if those things are true or not. But as I said before, it leads to death if it's not always true.
And you had told me that Chad and Lori were always saying things that weren't coming to pass.
Right.
They were always saying
Yeah.
kind of weird, bizarre things.
Exactly.
So when they start to talk about zombies, you weren't really thinking anything more.
No, because they never talked about killing anyone. They would always talk about praying and hoping that the spirits would leave the bodies. And so that was always what they did, is always pray about. But she was also predicting days, as we all heard, about things that were going to happen, or somebody was supposed to die on this day. And they just never happened through time. It seemed like there was a prediction about something every month, every week, and it didn't happen. And so I didn't get the sense that any of her things that she said were happening when they were going to happen, or, I didn't take a lot of it too seriously. I hope that you can understand a little bit more about how I was interpreting that.
The other question, opening that day when I first heard it, and again, and so we wanted to honor that request, and I had heard the call, and it was.
Okay, so that's it for that. That's all I'm gonna share with you on that clip that Nate and Melanie Gibb did. So why is this important? Why is this clip important? It's because I had a comment left in my last video. My last video was said, I think Melanie's in trouble when she said she didn't have any understanding that there could have been murders towards the kids. I'm going to tell you, I am not a witness for the defense because I can't be. I have nothing to do with this case. I'm not a witness for the prosecution. But I'm a witness on YouTube on real truth. And the real truth in the matter is the night before when Melanie and Lori and them staged the house for Charles, meaning they stole all his clothes. They hid all his belongings, including his truck. Someone helped Lori with all of this. This is stuff she couldn't have done only, and so we're assuming Melanie helped. It's only assumption. We don't want to point the finger at her. But where we can point the finger at Melanie Gibb is exactly this. Listen here, guys. This is the real scoop. So when I have commenters coming on my comment section of my videos telling me in so many